Hello, class. This is your fellow student Christopher Ite, and for my abstract discussion post three, the particular site that I wanted to highlight um, was Washington's Crossing Park um, on the Pennsylvania side of the Delaware. Um, in terms of historiography, this is Whig history because it highlights and emphasizes the themes of liberty and freedom in the early republic. Um, the role of this location is monumentally important because, according to Julia Ernst's scholarly journal, Washington's Crossing in the Media, Washington's crossing slash sneaking up on the Hessian garrison at Trenton when he crosses the river um, was a major attack that aided Washington to victory and also turned the tide of the Revolutionary War. One of the most phenomenal aspects of his attack on the Hessian garrison was not only the fact that it surprised them, but also that it was in the freezing elements and cold weather. Christmas night of 1776. Of Washington's three-pronged attack, only one division made it across the river crossing, and this was at McConkey's Ferry. That source comes from James F. Burns' Many Waters to Cross. Within days of crossing the Delaware River, it's a scholarly article on the crossing of the Delaware. In modern times, this site is well preserved, as it's called Washington's Crossing Park, and there's actually a village in Pennsylvania called Washington's Crossing, which I'm sure it's named after the historic site. In the park, present day, there's an inn called McConkey's Ferry Inn, built in 1790. What was interesting is the original one that Washington, when at the time of Washington's crossing, got torn down between 1752 and 1790, and the one that stands present was built in 1790, and it contains the original kitchen and basement of at the site at the time when Washington crossed. Also, reenactment takes place there each year using the replica Durham boats that the 2,000 men crossed the Delaware River in. This location is not only important because of the outcome of the Revolutionary War, but according to Dunmore Throop's article on Contemplations of McConkey's by American Public House Review, two future presidents in George Washington and James Monroe, he was a cavalry lieutenant at the time. They were involved in the crossing. And also the future Treasury Secretary, Alexander Hamilton, who was killed by Aaron Burr in 1804 in a duel. He was at the site as well and partook in the operation. Another important interpretation of why Washington's crossing is important is that it's a risky crossing utilizing the 2,000 men in the freezing cold weather, and it was the beginning of the turning point that escalated into three battles later on the next few days and into the beginning days of 1777 that would ultimately turn the tide of the Revolutionary War. And that fact was according to Beverly Edwards and her article in Trailer Life Agora, Volume 62, Issue 8, pages 55 through 57, where she claimed that it turned the tide of the war. Also, to conclude, if I had the opportunity to take kids here on a field trip, I would definitely do so. Washington's Crossing Park would be an absolutely ideal place for my students to learn about the history that took place here at the actual site. Like, I lived in Europe for 3 years, stationed over there. I loved it. Like, I'd prefer to go to a historical site, honestly, than a museum. And that's one of the things I love about places like this, is the students actually get to see where the history took place. In the case of Washington Crossings Park, the students would be able to witness the exact site where the sneak attack occurred and change the tide of the war, leading to their independence.